Well, welcome to Cokato Lake. I'm your host, Lon Austin, and this is Wright Outdoors. Out here, getting a little northern action. Looks like we're in about 12, 13 feet of water. Those of you that fish Cokato Lake, you realize it's a good base of cabbage. Northern's run a little small. We're going to try some bass fishing here. It's noted for some of its bass, and maybe a little walleye action later. But we'll just have to see what we can come up with. We're fishing a finger off this point here. This point comes all the way out, it extends, and I've been dropping the spoon down off the break, off the top of the cabbage, bringing it out and bringing it down, and we're picking up a northern now and then. Well, sit back, relax, we'll cast some here, but first here's a word from our sponsors.
Countryside Campers and Distribution, now in Clearwater, Minnesota, invites you to stop by our expanded facility and see our just completed indoor showroom. On display is a complete line of truck accessories, including running boards, plus a full line of dandy toppers built right here, along with fish houses and snowmobile trailer covers, plus pen-to-bed liners. And if that's not enough, you can book a drift fishing trip on the upper Mississippi. Countryside Campers, a full-service hands-on dealer, just a couple of guys.
It has a 3.8-liter V6 with electronic fuel injection, stereo cassette, and remote keyless entry, cruise control, airbag, and anti-lock brakes, plus power windows, power locks, even a 6-way power driver's seat. Yet during Buick Value Days, this Regal is just $18,795, which makes it one power trip you can't resist going on. The value-priced Buick Regal.
Kendall Buick Pontiac GMC. Wright Outdoors is brought to you in part by the law offices of Smith & Associates. Smith & Associates is a full-service law firm serving families and businesses in Wright and Sherburne County for over 25 years. Stop in and see the professionals at Smith & Associates in Monticello at 295-2107 and Elk River 441-3990.
What we want to do is get up on the 7 foot where the weeds start, 7, 8, 9 in there, where the weeds are going to start, and then cast up on the top, and then we'll draw it back down. See where it starts breaking away there on the finder? You're at 8 foot, you can see it starting to come way up real quick there. I haven't spotted the weeds yet. This lake is got a lot of rock, a lot of sand, but I think we're right up on top of it. Now we might hit 5. And what we want to do is cast off down it and let it fall down off this. And right where the wind's going to carry us in such a way that we'll be able to fish right off this point. See guys back in the office? This is hard work. This is Kevin working. This is Kevin on work. Don't let this happen to you. We are fishaholics.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Nice fish, Kevin. Let him tire out a little bit. Let him tire out. You're gonna have to land this on your own. We got no net in here. Okay. Now bring him in real slow here. And see if you can slide your hand under his belly there. There you go.
There we go. Nice little northern. He's probably about 15 inches, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where's the other side here? Okay, open your mouth, bud. Open your mouth. I want to let you go. Oh yeah. See, you're a crankbait man. I'm a spinnerbait.
You like throwing those spinner baits up on top of the weed beds like that.
Whoa! Come back here.
Here, get him down in the bottom of the boat, Kev.
Here, we're gonna just squeeze you this way.
Ladies and gentlemen out there, you're going to have to forgive the back and forth motion here, but...
Oh, there we go. He's out.
Did you get it out?
Yep, he's out. Nice.
There you go.
On to spinner baits. Nice little yellow guy. Just got that one repaired because I broke off the top spinner on him, and I wanted to get a new one back on because this yellow spinner works absolutely marvelous for me. Just get it out there, crank it back quick. As soon as you see it, slow it down.
Absolutely unbelievable. Dog days out here on Lake Cokato. Just came over a 4-foot finger and no weeds. Oh, I bumped my contrast a little bit. 4 foot of water, now I'm at 30. Kevin, we've got to throw some spinner baits along those trees. As flat as that water is, too, I think I'll run a buzz bait. 13 feet of water, and it goes right up there, so why don't we try that?
That sounds really good to me.
Sure. Casts like that'll scare them away. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, he's a nice one.
Let him tire out. Let him tire out. Let him tire out, because we have no landing net, so let him tire out. Then don't grab him by the gills.
Dogfish.
Yep. Well, I haven't gotten a clean look at him yet. Big dogfish.
Big honking dogfish.
Now, Kevin, what you're going to have to do is slide your hand under his stomach. He's green. He's still green. Let him tire out. Okay. Now, slide your hand under his stomach and lift up. Put him flat on the floor of the boat.
Okay.
Atta boy.
He's still feisty.
Okay, now bring him. He's ready to come. Nope.
No, he ain't.
We went off and forgot our landing net. Okay, there he comes. He's laying on his side now.
Okay. Just grab him by the stomach?
Just grab him by the stomach and lift.
Okay. Oh.
There you go.
I'm gonna need my pliers for this guy. Give me some slack on my...
Well, while Kevin gets this dogfish on, I'll get the pliers for him. And why don't you folks take a listen to a message from our sponsors.
There's only one thing dumber than waiting till winter to buy your Arctic Cat snowmobile. See your dealer now to take advantage of preseason discounts and guarantee the sleds you want.
At Monticello Ford Mercury, we care about your vehicle. That's why our service department is committed to your satisfaction. Vehicle maintenance returns more than trouble-free miles of travel. It returns confidence and value to one of your biggest investments. That's why each time we service your vehicle, you're guaranteed prompt attention, quality service, and a squeaky clean automobile. We're committed to quality service at Monticello Ford Mercury. I-94 and Highway 25 Monticello, your Distinguished Achievement Award winner for service.
Say, Kevin, you were over there at Bernie's Mill over there in St. Michael the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Was
Really
that kind
interesting.
Kind of a shooting deal, huh?
Yeah, a gentleman that does trick shooting with shotguns, 22s, and handguns. A lot of interesting stuff, different clay pigeons. He uses tomatoes, golf balls, whatever to shoot. Really good.
Well, why don't you take the folks out there and show them what you learned. But first, let's do that after a word from our sponsors.
They say the only difference between men and little boys is the length of their pants and the price of their toys. And when the big boys get ready, they know that H&H Sports Shop on Highway 55 in Maple Lake is their one-stop sporting goods store. No matter what the season or the reason, H&H Sports Shop can handle all your sporting goods needs in one convenient stop. The fall hunting season is just around the corner, so now's the time to have your guns fine-tuned. And make sure you're ready with all the right archery equipment from H&H Sport, where they service what they sell. H&H Sports Shop, Highway 55, Maple Lake.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom Knapp, and I travel the world for H.K. Benelli and Winchester Ammunition, putting on shooting exhibitions all over the world. And before I begin shooting, I have to ask or tell you, each and every one of you, I want you to understand that the shots that I will be doing today have been extremely well practiced, and the background that I'll be shooting at has been very carefully chosen. So please remember those important safety factors if anyone here is tempted to try this particular type of target shooting. Now I'm going to shoot some clay pigeons with the .22 rifle, and those of you standing right here behind me, would you please let the other people know if you see a hole go right through the center of this clay target without breaking it. Now I will try to break a few by hitting them on the edge, but I want to show you that I can put the hole right through the middle of this pigeon without breaking the target. There was a little bit of a hole there. Let's see if I can do another one. And up they go. Did you see that? Okay, they saw the hole through there. So let's give another one up here. There's 2 hits on a clay pigeon and another one. And that is the little .22 Winchester Magnum. All right, now I'm going to get back into the unusual targets, and we're going to shoot some charcoal briquettes. These are fun to start a fire with, but they're also fun to shoot with a .22 rifle. So let's get the gun ready, and there's one. They indicate a hit real nice, shooting regular rifle bullets out of the .22 rimfire Magnum. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, you might have thought that that was a miss. There's a difference between missing and not wanting to hit. Yes, indeed. And you know, I shoot so much, of course, during the course of a year that my shooting becomes kind of boring to me because I get to watch it daily. And so instead of hitting every target that I shoot at, I sometimes like to entertain myself, and I like to see just how close I can come to those targets without hitting them. Yes. Yes. And for your information, I came within 251,000ths of an inch from hitting that last target. So let's see if I can do another one here. And I didn't have the gun ready to shoot. So again, there's another one and one more. And that is shooting the .22 Magnum rimfire. All right, now I'm going to get into some other unusual targets here. What do I have? I have some little golf balls. You'll be seeing me playing some golf. There's 2 hits on one golf ball. Did you see that? All right, let's see if I can do that again. All right, that was just one hit, and hey, that one jumped out of the way, and one more. And there we have shooting golf balls with a Winchester rimfire Magnum. Thank you very much. Well, let's see. Now we can take a walk down to the old chicken coop and we can try some little old chicken eggs. Now, I know that it's not real nice to be wasting food or anything, but these happen to be a little bit ripe and nobody's going to eat them anyway. So I'm going to show you what happens. Oh, look at that plane. All right, I'm going to show you what happens with a chicken egg, and I wanted to see if it would break if it hit the ground. All right, they pop like a light bulb sometimes, and sometimes they get a little snotty. And there they are, and one more up here, and they pop like a light bulb if you hit them in the middle. There's another one, and one more straight away. And that is how you shoot the chicken eggs with the rimfire Magnum. I was going to shoot an aspirin out of the air with this rifle today, and I think I'm going to use a big aspirin instead. This is a little bit bigger aspirin than normal, so let's see if I can hit this aspirin with a .22 rimfire Magnum, and let's hit it. Hey, that was one powerful aspirin. All right. All right, well, as much trouble as I'm having with these .22 rifles today, maybe I should go to an aspirin this size. No, I tell you what, I'm going to shoot a real live aspirin. This aspirin is a Scripton. It is let's see what it says. It's 350 milligrams of aspirin, and it is 50 milligrams of Maalox. And I don't happen to like the Maalox, so I'm going to separate the Maalox from the aspirin. Can I get... This is a, well, it's an adult-proof cap. So could you please open that for me? Thank you. And can you, you just pour, okay, I'll just take one. Now, is this a regular aspirin tablet?
Yeah.
Okay. And it is not very big, and I'm going to be shooting a single projectile at this aspirin in midair. And I'm going to do it right from here, so I hope everybody can see. You just stand right, you can stand on my left and then get ready to give me a whole bunch more, because I might miss this one. This takes a lot of concentration, ladies and gentlemen, and it is a very difficult shot, especially when your glasses are full of egg. So here we go. There, I tickled it. That's one aspirin. Did you see it move? All right, I'm going to just tighten up my gun here. And I have a whole bunch of things going on with me today here with this egg. All right, another aspirin tablet is on its way up. There it is, an aspirin tablet with a .22 rifle. Thank you very much. I don't need any more because I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. And I'm going to pretend that these 5 wild Chingalis are mad, and they're mad at me. And I have to eliminate all 5 of those as quickly as I can. So with a Super X 1-ounce slug, Winchester. Hey, and that's how you can get rid of those Chingali in a hurry with a Benelli. Now, thank you, but you can also use your Benelli for shooting small game, maybe like the rabbit. And when I go rabbit hunting, I, of course, like to use my Benelli. Now, pretend that I have a rabbit sitting in front of me now. I wouldn't like to shoot him when he was just sitting still because it's much too easy for the Benelli. So I'm going to shoot underneath this rabbit and make him jump up. And when he jumps up, I'm going to hit him 7 more times before he can come back down. So watch that rabbit run, and we have the sun in my eyes. So, hey, and look at that rabbit. And that's how you can shoot rabbits with a Benelli. Thank you. Thank you very much. I have to light a fire with charcoal. And to make a nice fire, I like to grind my charcoal into small pieces. And what better tool could you have to grind your charcoal into small pieces than the Benelli coal grinder? So you just lay the charcoal on the barrel of the Benelli like so. And all you have to do is give the gun a little flip and grind it like that. Maybe you can put the charcoal on the back of the Benelli, give the Benelli a little flip and grind it like that. Or maybe you can put 1 or 2 on the barrel just like so. I don't know if you can all see it sitting on the barrel there, but you give the gun a little push and you miss the second one on purpose. All right, here we go. Up they go. And that's how you grind coal with the Benelli coal grinder. Thank you. Well, now I'm going to get into that game of golf that I promised you with the Benelli shotgun. And when you go out to the golf course intending to play a full round of golf with a Benelli shotgun, everyone on the course pays attention. And so, well, I'll just use my little M1 golf gun. Some days when I go out to the golf course, though, I don't really have as good a day as I want to, and I might strike the ball off center, which would result in slicing the ball to the right. And you have to watch very quickly because I slice them to the right. And you can see it up there. It's to the right, down behind the tree. Now, they do go very quickly. And some days I have a bad day, and I will hit the ball on the other side, which would result in hooking the ball to the left. And that would look, that was pretty much to the left. I'll do it again, to the left. And that's to the left. But thank you. The young gentleman here said he saw it. All right. Well, now some days if I'm having a real good day, I might strike that ball dead center and I might have the dandiest drive you ever saw. That would go straight away across the river, and that would be, and whoa, look at that ball go. It's still up there. It's still up there, and now it's in the woods, and it's in the river. I just saw it splash. That's my game of golf with the Benelli shotgun. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you know, conventional targets for the shotgun, of course, are clay pigeons. And as soon as I can get my tongue away from my eye tooth so I can see what I'm saying, I will now show you how to shoot clay pigeons in various ways, because if you happen to want to go target shooting and you don't have a friend to help you throw the targets, and you don't have a machine to help you throw the targets, then you might just want to throw them yourself. And so you can do that by simply taking the target and throwing it over your back like this and shooting it like that, or one behind your back like this and shoot it like that, or one under this arm, shoot it like that, or two of them over your arm and shoot them like that, or two under this arm. And that's how you can shoot all by yourself and entertain yourself all day long. Thank you. Now I have a real nice gun for the lady of the house. And this little gun is a Benelli 20 gauge. And I gotta show it to you because this little Montefeltro Benelli 20 gauge is so lightweight it weighs 5.5 pounds. And it has very little recoil, and the Benelli shotguns use the recoil to operate the mechanism. So it takes some of the kick that you normally feel, it takes it away. So I'm just going to show you that this has such light recoil, I can shoot it with one hand like a pistol, and you can do two with a pistol. It's just very light and easy to shoot. And for them boys down south that get into the quail hunting, and they jump a whole covey of quail all at once, and maybe 5 birds gets up in front of them and they're trying to figure out which one to shoot, I tell them just shoot them all. It goes so quick. Hey, and you can even pop a balloon at the same time. Now, although these Benelli shotguns are various different models and different styles, and of course this little 20 gauge is a lightweight and light kicking gun for the whole family, the boys and girls as well as mom. But my lovely assistant Janet would like to come out here and show you that even the big Benellis, the 12 gauge 3-inch Magnum, the M1 Super 90, shooting the regular AA trap and skeet load, 3-dram load, 1 1/8 of lead. That's enough to loosen your fillings if you're shooting it out of a break action shotgun or a pump. This shotgun will reduce the recoil, and it will help you shoot and stay on target better. So Janet, and by the way, Janet's traveled all over the world with me, and we've had a lovely time. And just lately, the past 3 months, she started shooting. She's never shot the shotgun before, honest Injun. And the last 3 months, she is having so much fun with it that I have to order more ammunition. So, I'm gonna throw 8 targets for you, okay? You want 8 of them? All at once. No, I'm going to throw them one at a time out here and see if Janet can hit them. And if we have a miss or something in between, we'll just do it over again here. You ready? Yeah. Here we go. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that is shooting the very nice shooting gun. Thank you, Janet. Single file, there we go. And now, because I'm so used to this, because traveling over in Europe, it was difficult for me to explain the rules of the game. So I found out if I talked very slowly and pronounced each word exactly, it was very easy for them to understand, even though they could not speak English. So I'm going to go through the same procedure as I did over there for them. And you will understand exactly what you're to do. So, when I say go, I want the first guy to throw his egg as high as he can over the top of the tree, and then you're going to go back and get another egg, and when you go back and get another egg, then you're going to step up and throw your egg as high as you can, and then you're going to go back and get another egg while you step up and throw your egg. When you throw your egg as high as you can, you're going to go back and get another egg while you can step up and throw your egg, and you're going to go around and around and look like an egg machine gun. What's so funny? Okay, you understand what we're to do. The first guy throws his egg, and then he goes right back to get another egg and get back in line because it's going to go, 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 go. And I'm going to just check to see if I got all these guns loaded up full capacity, and we're going to get into that egg machine gun right away. Oh, yes, that's the right one. All right. All right. All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, on your mark, get set, and go! Throw that egg! Hey! Come on, go, go, go! Hey! Come on! Come on, go! Hey! Hey, you son of a gun! Hey, come on, come on, come on! Throw, 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 hey! Throw, throw! Throw, throw! Hey, hey! He broke. Come on, hurry up! Throw, 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 hey! Come on, throw, throw, throw! Hey! Come on, throw! Hey, hey! Throw! Hey! Throw! Throw! Hey! 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 All right, enough of the talk. I've gotten to the part of the show where it scares me. I'm going to attempt to throw 8 clay targets. You just saw me do 7, and it looks kind of easy. You add one more target, and it causes complete mayhem in my little brain. One more target also adds to the amount of swing and the movement that I have to do to get them all before they hit the ground, utilizing a separate shot each. There it is, right there, 8 clay targets. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a man who says he can do 8, and he also says that he holds an exclusive world record to it. You just saw 8 right here, and I have a new video coming out. Last year I threw 9 and broke 9 right here. I've got it on video, and the video's coming out, and that's why you ain't seen it today. And I want to turn that video into a couple extra bucks, but I do hold a world record for 9 clay targets, just like the 8. And the other guy is not the record holder. So I want to thank you all for coming to my show today. I want to thank you for making me feel at home, and thank you for giving me such a good hand here on my first stateside show back.
Another edition of Wright Outdoors. I'm your host, Lon Austin. I'm here at Big Lake Marine because it's that time of the year to start thinking about winterizing our boats. So we'll do that right after a word from our sponsors.
Be ready for winter with the new Ford F-150 from Monticello Ford Mercury. And now there's more F-150 than before, with anti-lock brakes, driver's side airbag, and everything you buy a truck for. Plus, when you purchase any vehicle, you'll receive as our gift a cruise for two to Grand Bahama Island, or free airfare to any of these dream vacation spots. It's a Happy New Year deal to you, only from Monticello Ford Mercury, I-94 and Highway 25, Monticello.
The new 95 Ski-Doo sleds are arriving now. New Formula, MX, Mach, touring sleds, and more starting at $19.99. And for a limited time, buy one with zero down, zero interest, and zero payments for 90 days. But you better hurry, the 95 sleds are moving fast.
Check out the new 95 Ski-Doo snowmobiles at Big Lake Marine, East Highway 10 in Big Lake.
If there's news on technology, you'll hear it first on JCN's New Media News. You'll get inside information on computers and emerging technologies from around the world, plus live remotes from major trade shows and regular features like Tracking the Trends and CD-ROM World. It's another cable exclusive. It's all on New Media News, and it's all right here Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Jones Computer Network. JCN, it all computes.
Welcome back. I'm here at Big Lake Marine, where I'm joined with Troy Rubink from Big Lake Marine, and we're going to discuss putting your motors away for the winter. Troy, we've got a little Mercury here. What is this, a little 5-horse?
5-horse.
Okay. Guy's up at the cabin, and he wants to put away his little 5-horse for the winter. What are some of the things that he's going to have to know before putting it away properly?
Well, the first thing he'll want to do is stabilize the fuel system. That keeps the varnish from building up in the carburetor and also keeps condensation at a minimum.
Okay, well, how would he do that?
Well, you just take your fuel conditioner, open the gas cap.
And you pour this right in the gas tank?
Pour this right in the gas tank.
Now you pour the whole pint in? What is
no,
it?
You need about an ounce to every gallon. Next, we've got to remove the cowl so we can get to the carburetor.
Nice clean little engine, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And we'll start the motor. Now you need to let it run a while so it'll work that stabilizer into the carburetor and the fuel system. Also getting the engine warmed up so the gear lube is warm and it'll drain fairly quickly, and also so the fogging oil sticks to the piston rings inside the engine.
Will it start from this, or will it start right? Well, I mean, where it's starting now?
It's cold right now.
Usually this is when you drop it next to the dock, right?
Correct. Okay. This is the fogging oil that you'll be spraying into the engine to coat all the internally lubricated parts. You'll want to pick up engine RPM because this stuff tends to want to kill the motor. It's a heavy oil. Simply spray it into the carburetor. Back off the throttle.
Okay, now why do we want to fog the engine like this?
Well, this keeps all the internally lubricated parts, your bearings, rings, pistons, cylinder wall, all oiled, and helps to prevent buildup of rust, pitted bearings, and keeps everything nice and free for when you start it up in the springtime.
Now you just put the cover back on?
Yep. Okay. Now the next thing we need to do is we have to lift the motor out of the tank so we can change the gear lube. Next, we'll need to crack the screws loose on the lower unit so we can drain the gear lube.
Now, is there anything we should be looking for when this gear lube is coming out? Any
You want to
steel
make sure
particles or anything like that? Are there any warning signs?
Yeah,
that
you'd like to check for any metal shavings and also any water in the grease.
Now, how would that? It would be like air bubbles or
milky looking.
Milky looking.
Yep. If it comes out as water or a milky looking oil, chances are you've got a seal that's gone bad in the lower unit and it needs to be repaired.
Okay. So that's kind of a warning signal right
Yes.
there.
This gear oil is nice and clean and clear. No problems on this one. Yeah. Now that we have the gear housing drained, we need to fill it back up to prevent moisture buildup in the gear housing.
Now, I know a lot of do-it-yourselfers have a tendency to fill from the top down, but that leak can leave air bubbles.
You want to fill from the bottom to the top. A lot of people don't even fill the gear housing, and that can lead to rust buildup, pits on the bearings, and rust on the gears.
And what happens if you don't? If those things start to happen, it's just going to eventually wear out?
You're going to wear out your gears a lot faster. There'll be friction when you first start it up. Premature gear failure could be possible.
Now, you're using a large container here.
Yes.
That's already, and I see OMC has their brand right here that the do-it-yourselfer can use.
Yeah, we have smaller quantities in quart, pint, and half pint 10-ounce bottles.
And how many does it usually take to fill a gear?
Depending on the size of the gear housing, standard one like this, a 10-ounce tube would fill it.
Okay.
As you can see, the gear lube is coming out the top plug now, and there's no air bubbles in sight, so we can go ahead and put the top plug in. Now we can remove the bottom filler tube.
And this is where you get it all over, isn't it?
This is where you get it all over. You got to be fairly quick. Now we can tighten the screw back up. Always double check both screws. Now we need a rig. To wipe the excess oil off the gear housing.
Now, Troy, is there anything to the upper engines that a person needs to look at before they put the cowl back on? Or?
You want to inspect your fuel lines for any fuel leaks that you might have. Other than that, it's pretty much in the springtime, it's ready to go. Start it up and burn the old fogging oil that's in the engine out, and then replace the plugs after you've done that in the spring.
So it's best to, your old plugs, keep
your old plugs in there, because if you put new ones in, you're going to foul them out pretty much right away.
Right away after you run the fogging oil.
So run the fogging oil out, and then install the new plugs.
Okay, well, let's take a look at a big engine, and we'll go from there.
All right.
But first, here's a word from our sponsors.
This month on Jones Intercable, they're the talented up-and-coming directors. See their groundbreaking film shorts on Showtime's 30-minute movie. Also on Showtime, some of Hollywood's biggest stars take their turn behind the camera on the original series Directed By. And for a festival of films, there's always a movie on the Movie Channel. This month and every month, the brightest new stars and the latest movies are on Jones Intercable. It's a smart choice.
Let's compare the value-priced Buick Century to Ford Taurus GL. Century comes standard with anti-lock brakes. They cost hundreds extra on Taurus.
Century includes power windows, locks, and cruise control standard. Taurus does not. Best of all, Century costs around $5,000 less. In fact, at $14,995, it's ranked the best overall value in its class. So test drive Century at your Better Buick dealer.
Kendall Buick, Pontiac, and GMC.
Okay, Troy, we've covered the small engines a little bit. Now we have an onboard force engine, a little bigger engine, and moving on to some of the larger engines. Why don't you explain some of the differences and some of the things that we're going to have to do here?
Some of the differences you'll run across with the larger engines and the onboard engines, you will have a fuel tank either inboard on the boat or a 6-gallon remote tank that you'll need to add your fuel stabilizer to. Also, some of the bigger differences in the larger engines, you may have a larger airbox cover to remove, several screws, and also you'll be fogging each carburetor equally up and down.
Now that's equal. So if you've got a 3 carburetor system, say in a 115 horse, then you want to get all 3 carburetors equally.
Fairly equally.
Yeah. Okay. Now, onboard gas tanks. It's a little difficult to figure out the exact amount of gallons that you've got in portion. Is it okay to be over a little bit? Or
Yeah, you can be over and not hurt anything.
Okay, it's better to be over than under.
Right.
Is that what you're telling me? Okay. How about the battery? Is there some things on the battery that we're going to have to do?
The best way to store a battery is in the cold, fully charged, unhooked.
Okay. Do you keep it on the boat then, or do you remove it? I've heard people say, don't keep it on, store it on concrete, don't
store it on concrete. You'd want to store it if you're going to put it in your garage, keep it up on wood blocks or carpet. Wood blocks is the best because it'll tend to eat up the carpet. But that's the best way to store a battery is in the cold, fully charged, but you got to make sure it's fully charged.
What happens to the battery then if you do put it down on a concrete floor or someplace?
It'll lose its charge.
Okay,
it'll drain.
To the sediments on the bottom, is that what happens? I've heard rumors of that.
The concrete just pulls the juice right out of it.
It does. It just sucks the juice right out of it. Okay, why don't you point out a few of the differences here on this force?
Well, first we'll remove the engine cover. Now this is a 2-cylinder engine compared to the single cylinder that we just winterized outside. Now this particular model has no airbox cover on the front of the carburetor. Some of your larger models will have a large airbox cover that you'll need to remove so you can spray the fogging oil in through the throats of the carburetor.
Okay, we're working on a Force engine here. Force is made by Mercury, along with Mariner being made by Mercury, and the old homeboy Mercury itself. Explain some of the differences that we're going to find once we remove the engine cover. Some of the viewers out there have got some of the old Mercuries, and what are they going to find different and new in some of these new engines?
The difference between the old Force and the old Mercury was Force was still a Force power head, Force gear case, and Force Prestolite ignition system. The newer Mercuries and the newer Forces share the same characteristics in ignition and gear housings, but Force still has their own power head and carburetor designs.
Okay.
That'll be the major differences you'll find.
Okay, so how about between Mariner and Mercury? Or
between Mariner and Mercury, generally from 40 horse and up, they're exactly the same. 30 horse and down, they are manufactured by a Japanese manufacturer.
Oh, that's interesting. A person doesn't know that. Troy, on an onboard, okay, we can't run it in a tank, or if a person has it up on shore already. You've got a garden hose here.
Yes.
And we can hook this up. Why don't we show folks?
Motor flusher attachment here that we can hook up to the gear case water intake.
And again, we can get
that would be.
You can buy these retail right here?
Yes, we sell them right here at the store. That would be right here. There's a little water intake. And we need to slide the earmuffs over the intake.
And then you got your regular garden hose.
Regular garden hose, turn it on, and then you can start your engine.
Okay, that's one of the differences in onboard. Tell me what we're going to have to look for if a guy's got an inboard.
An inboard engine? Winterizing an inboard engine is a little bit different in the fact that You've got a large motor that uses freshwater cooling capacity that will not self-drain. You need to drain the engine and fill it with antifreeze.
Okay, just like you would do with your car.
Well, an RV antifreeze, you want to use something that's biodegradable, so when you fire it up in the lake in the spring, you're not harming any habitat of any kind.
Okay.
Other differences when you're winterizing inboard engine, you'll want to change your oil and filter. It's always good to have clean oil in an engine when it's in a storage period. You'll need to pull the drive unit off and grease your U-joints and gimbal bearing assembly, and also any other pivot points on the gimbal housing. You'll need to, in the same manner, stabilize the fuel system, fog the engine down through the carburetor throughout, and that's about it.
Okay, basically, it's you're working with two different identities. You're working with the outboard, okay, and you're also working with the engine, just like I mentioned before, a little bit more like a car engine.
Like a car engine, yep.
More like a car engine. So if you were winterizing your car, you would winterize the engine that way, and the lower unit you would winterize just like your outboard.
Yep.
Okay. How about some of the greasing? You mentioned greasing a few minutes ago. Why don't you point out some of the gaskets and stuff that have to be
some of the pivot point grease zerks on this engine. There's one here that greases your main swivel bracket. That's for the shaft that runs in here, and there's a couple bushings in here on top and bottom that need to get some grease. And also up here on the steering cable pivot tube, that needs to be greased also to prevent getting gummed up and stick, so you don't have a sticky steering cable in the spring.
Yeah, I was going to go back to the steering cable and some of the cables. You want to just spray some WD-40 on some of those
It's
cables?
not a bad idea to spray some type of spray lubricant on any of the steering components to keep them free, and also to help from buildup of rust corrosion.
Okay, real good. Well, thanks, Troy. I appreciate you taking some time with us and figuring out how to winterize our motors. All these products are here again at Big Lake Marine. Be more than happy to. You've got some indoor storage, I understand,
Yes,
and some of those type of things.
We do have indoor storage.
So anything that boat owner needs, you've got it right here.
Yep.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll be back right after a word from our sponsors.
You know, a lot of people think Pat, John, and I always disagree. Nothing could be further from the truth. Sure, we argue issues, but that's healthy in any relationship. In fact, off camera, we're really good friends. Fellas, how about another round?
Crossfire, weeknights on CNN.
Countryside Campers and Distribution, now in Clearwater, Minnesota, invites you to stop by our expanded facility and see our just completed indoor showroom. On display is a complete line of truck accessories, including running boards, plus a full line of dandy toppers built right here, along with fish houses and snowmobile trailer covers, plus pen-to-bed liners. And if that's not enough, you can book a drift fishing trip on the upper Mississippi. Countryside Campers, a full-service hands-on dealer, just a couple of guys.
They say the only difference between men and little boys is the length of their pants and the price of their toys. And when the big boys get ready, they know that H&H Sports Shop on Highway 55 in Maple Lake is their one-stop sporting goods store. No matter what the season or the reason, H&H Sports Shop can handle all your sporting goods needs in one convenient stop. The fall hunting season is just around the corner, so now's the time to have your guns fine-tuned. And make sure you're ready with all the right archery equipment from H&H Sport, where they service what they sell. H&H Sports Shop, Highway 55, Maple Lake.
Welcome back. I'm in Becker, Minnesota at Wild Images, where we're going to discuss a little bit of taxidermy and field preparation and what you should do with your fish that you catch or your trophy that you catch, and defining what a trophy is with Craig Johnson. Craig, welcome to Wright Outdoors.
Thank you, Arn.
Tell me a little bit about your store. It's kind of exciting.
Well, it's fairly new. I just opened up here July 1st, and what I do is I'm a taxidermist, and I sell some wildlife art along the side. The taxidermy has been a kind of a hobby of mine for several years now, and I finally turned it into a full-time profession this year. and it's been rather exciting and busy. I've had plenty of work coming in, but I can always use more. And
let's talk a little bit about field preparation. A guy gets a buck that he feels as though he'd like to have mounted for one reason or another. It might be his first buck, and it might be a big trophy buck. What should he do? We keep talking a cape, and he wants to do a shoulder mount or a head mount. What should he do?
The first thing he should do is really pay attention to the cuts he makes. When he goes to gut out the animal, he should stop cutting it when he gets to the front shoulders, because too many people, they cut up into the brisket area, and that is, if you look at one of these deer mounts here, that's part of the mount, and you get too many cut up into the neck.
So he should get right up to the bottom of the rib cage?
Yeah, right in between the two front legs.
Okay.
And then avoid cutting the neck. I know some people have a tradition, they gotta cut the neck and get the esophagus out. Avoid that. And the best thing to do is to, if you're gonna skin it yourself, do a case skin, you know, without cutting up the front or the back, and just case skin it down to the head and cut it off and bring the whole hide into me, because then I can take off what I'm not going to use and discard of it.
How about pheasants?
Pheasants, the best thing to do with them is do not gut them. Yeah, the best thing to do is just to put them inside a plastic bag and freeze them as soon as you can. And make sure the wings are folded up next to the body, and maybe tuck the head underneath the wing. Put them in a freezer bag and freeze them, and then get them into the taxiderm as soon as you can, because a pheasant's tail can get bent in the freezer if it gets banged around, and which can make it difficult to patch up.
Okay. How about fish? When a guy...
Fish, they're similar to pheasants. The best thing to do is just to freeze them whole in plastic.
Should a person fold down the fins in a particular manner, or...
Yeah, keep the fins as flat to the body as you possibly can, and then lay them flat inside a freezer bag and freeze them. What I like to do is after I put them inside a freezer bag, or else saran wrap. Saran wrap works well. You can wrap a fish up real tight with saran wrap, put them in a bag, and then I like to take a piece of cardboard, put the fish on a piece of cardboard, and then tape it onto the cardboard. That keeps the fins flat and keeps them from getting busted in the freezer.
Okay. Now how about, let's say a guy catches a big walleye in the boundary waters, and it's going to be a little difficult, or it's going to be a time before he can get that froze. What type of preparation can he do?
The best thing he can do is just to try to keep it cool. If he has any ice with him or dry ice, he's going to have to put it on that ice. Otherwise, if he can't keep it alive, it is going to be tough. Sometimes there's not much you can do about it. You know, the best thing he can do is just if he's got a trophy that he really wants to keep, he's in the boundary waters, he might have to if he's going to be there for another week, he might have to take a day and get it out and get it in the freezer, right?
How about when they're in warmer climates? Let's say a guy's out in South Dakota and it's 70 degrees out there, and he shoots a big muley. What should he do with that?
The best thing he can do, because it's better for the meat also, is just to get it gutted out and get it hung up and cooled down as quick as you can. What I like people to do when they go out west is to freeze that cape as quickly as they can. See, too many people, they have them salted. They believe in salting out there, and about 80% of the time they're not salted correctly, and they come back with hair slippage and half rotten, and there's nothing we can do with that but get a new cape. So
you've already lost a couple.
I've had a couple of nice elk come in this year that were ruined because the guides themselves salted them, and they didn't salt them correctly. And the best thing that can be done is to get them frozen.
Completely frozen?
Yeah, completely frozen. Wrap them up and freeze them without even touching them with salt.
Some of those big elks, you need a tarp.
Right. Right.
So how about fox or coyote?
Fox and coyote, bring them in whole, freeze them in a plastic bag. Basically everything that you're going to freeze is best put in a plastic bag and tied, and then frozen whole. And then I can do all the delicate skinning.
How long does it usually take to get it?
It usually takes about 6 months to get something back.
By the time you send it in to get tanned, and then by the time you get... Okay. Tell me a little bit about your art. Great gifts and ideas.
I have a Hadley House dealership who carries Terry Redlands. He's kind of popular amongst most people, and also Wild Wings. And Wild Wings carries a number of gift ideas, from plates to prints and decoys and glasses.
Everything
So,
for the outdoorsman's
basically
environment.
everything.
Yeah. I noticed the Jordan print.
Yeah, the Jordan print here, that's...
And is that hole in the horn there?
Yep. No, that's old mossy horns.
That's old
right there.
mossy
Yeah.
horns, yeah. Okay, beautiful prints that have been done. Now, Craig, let's define a trophy buck or a trophy. What is a trophy? What should somebody bring in?
Well, a trophy is, that's different in everybody's book. You know, it doesn't take a rack that's 22 inches to be a trophy. You might take your boy out on his first hunt, and he might shoot a 6-point buck or even a doe, and he's so proud of that, and Dad, he wants that mounted. That's a trophy, because it's something that he's very proud of, and he can't wait to show his friends, and that's where taxidermy takes its place on the...
I've always looked at it, too, as you know, it might be a kid's special fishing trip. I've taken the kids up to the boundary waters into Canada, and it's just a fish that he's caught, and it's not the memory of the fish. It could be a memory of the experience and the trip that it was on. You've got a little unusual buck over here. Let's talk about this and some of the different type of things that can be done that doesn't necessarily have to be a trophy.
Right. You know, you could take a doe or even a smaller rack buck and make a very beautiful mount for your living room or your den. It's
this would be a nice family room setting with a little doe up here chewing here like that.
Right. You know,
a little unusual, different mount that's done. And
yeah, most people, when they think of a shoulder mount for a buck, they think of the traditional, you know, the big monster that they shot, and they maybe have 1 or 2 done in a lifetime, is what, you know, most people get. And this is just something different that can be done with a...
This is really
lesser
a different type of mount. Let's talk price a little bit. I understand that something like this, elaborate as this, with the artificial tree and artificial flowers and this type of thing, is going to get a little bit more expensive, especially when we're talking the wood, because the wood is very expensive.
Right.
How much does a mount like this run?
Shoulder mount, whether it be this one with the open mouth or this one here, is $250. And something like this scene right here with the oak, and that could be hung on the wall or put on the floor. This would be about $200 to $250 extra for that scene.
Mm-hmm. Now, how about even just a little mount? I mean, the kid's first bike buck, you know what?
Okay. Well, there's different things you can do, such as a plaque mount, just to mount the horns, and maybe put a little brass tag with his name, when he shot it and where he shot it, so, you know, down the road he can look at that and still smile and be proud of that.
He can get that done for $50, $75.
Yeah, $50 for.
Oh, see, that's real reasonable, and it's the kids for something he carries with him forever.
Right.
From big game mounts, fish replicas, and game bird displays, Craig Johnson of Wild Images Taxidermy and Wildlife Art Gallery is a name that you can trust. And for the outdoor enthusiast on your gift list, Wild Images Art Gallery has the novelties and prints for your choosing. That's Wild Images Taxidermy and Wildlife Art Gallery, conveniently located on Highway 10, Becker, Minnesota.
Wright Outdoors is brought to you in part by the law offices of Smith & Associates. Smith & Associates is a full-service law firm serving families and businesses in Wright and Sherburne County for over 25 years. Stop in and see the professionals at Smith & Associates in Monticello at 295-2107 and Elk River 44.